Okay, new draft. Starting with a banger. Eridu, Carrier of Dawn. It's a Baneslayer, basically. 5 mana, 5/5 flying lifelink. You can also flip it. Oh, sorry, it has another line of text. Your creatures have Convoke. And you can pay black on your main phase, flip it to the backside, which is a very similar card, except it says non-tokens you control have Persist. And yes, this does have the issue of no enter the battlefield, no protection, but it's good enough. You know, when it sticks, it's going to win the game most of the time. And when it dies, okay, you know. You take a pretty big tempo loss, but not the kind of card I'm going to shy away from. There's always a threshold there, right? With the card's good enough if it sticks. I always use Sheol Dread as an example. It's still a good card. It skirts around my rule about expensive creatures. Rest of these cards, nothing too exciting. I like this card decently sometimes. The Flying Enchantment, good. Ooh. Another good rare. Okay, okay. Kinscar Sentry, 2 mana, 2/2, first strike, lifelink Kithkin. And that's a lot of what the card does. It has this additional line of text. When it attacks, you can put a creature card, mana value X or less from your hand, onto the battlefield taps and attacking, where X is the number of attacking creatures you control. Sometimes this matters a lot, sometimes not at all. Happy to take it, though. Yeah, so far we're on life-linking rares. that's the deck we're drafting. I'm probably just going to take Spiral into Solitude after that. Good removal spell. I really like Luminalisk. I really like the Vivid stuff. For those who watch my early access stream, you'll know how deep I was with the Vivid stuff, going deep on that. And yeah, this one's kind of a banger. Not going to take it over a good removal spell when we started with 2 great white cards, though. So, Kithkeeper. Also, don't think I'm going to take this. This is another card for the Vivid deck. Tempted by this Changeling, tempted by the blue removal, tempted by Blossoming Defenses. 5-drop makes me want Thing That Finds Lands. Good removal is just good removal. Better end up green-white here. I don't think I feel very strongly either way, no. I also, for what it's worth, one thing is, you know, I don't know for sure. Okay, nice. Another good removal spell, being the best card in the pack. My early impressions are that my other early impressions were actually a little bit wrong. As, you know, my early impressions, but also a lot of people's kind of peg Kithkin as like, oh, this is going to be the deck, right? Like, one of the best decks. And, I don't have confidence that I'm right or wrong about that, but I'm leaning towards, I actually have been less impressed with the Kithkin stuff. At least compared to the other creature type decks. The Kithkin deck is fundamentally an aggro deck that doesn't have great tools to push damage. I mean, they are there, but they mostly exist at uncommon. The common tools to push damage are not good. The tricks suck. There's like 2/2 that look to push damage, like they pump your team. Those also are not very good. So any of the decks are going to be good when you've got the uncommon pieces, right? That's not what I'm trying to argue here. I'm just trying to say the other decks, goblins, elves, even elementals, I think have a little bit more going on for them at the common level. Yes, tricks have been declawed. That's a good way to put it. So here, the best card by quite a bit is Soulbright Seeker. I love this card. Sweet card. Probably not for us here. I could just take Feistly Spikeling. Just a 2. Not a great 2, but it is a 2. So we'll take. Blossoming Defenses is good. Yeah, no, Blossoming Defenses is great. Don't get me wrong. I'm just very happy to, like, here's my train of thought. When I started with 2 good white rares into 2 good white removal spells, that's when I think you should put some emphasis on sticking to white when you can, right? Getting deep into the color. This pack, I do like Cavalry decently, if you're aggressive enough, and, like, are going to be pressuring. I think here's where I diverge. I don't want none of these white cards. These cards kind of or whatever. Okay, 8th pick Eclipse Kithkin is certainly a sign of good things to come, hopefully. This is one of the 2s I was talking about that is designed to help you push damage. Is not very good at doing it, though. It's just a little too small ball. The other one is the whites, pay 5, pump the team. A little bit awkward, you know? The uncommons are quite good at doing it, though, for what it's worth. So hopefully we see some of those. Yeah, exactly. Hopefully I just crush with this deck after panning Kithkin. And again, like, I'm saying, oh, I'm unenthused with Kithkin is like more relative to where I was before, where I was like, oh yeah, like I think this deck's gonna be pretty sick. I'm gonna take this Mauler. I could see us ending up red-white. I think the times you end up in the off-brand decks are mostly when... Take this Eulogist. I think it's quite a bit better than this Nomad. I just have not liked Nomad at all in Kithkin. You need all your cards in Kithkin to push damage. That does not do it. Luminalisk Wheels and Eulogist. This is interesting. This is interesting. We could end up black-white. Alright, random 2. Like, one of the advantages of staying heavy white is I get to play this Kithkin, even if I don't end up green-white. Thoughts on Rooftop Percher? It's the flying Kithkin. Not good. Not good, unfortunately. Not unplayable, but I don't think it's a card you want in your deck. Am I happy enough with Lumalisk if you're only going to gain 1 to 2 life? I would set the average at 2, and with the hybrid cards, it's often 3, sometimes 4. Shadow Urchin's a nice one. Shadow Urchin is a nice one. Again, for our prospective black-white deck. Because, like, green didn't seem that open. We got some solid black cards late. I think this is when you're going to end up in the off-brand decks. I might have said this already, but I kind of want to repeat it. Like, just, you get deep into one color because you open some bombs, and then you open a good card, like, pack 2, and you're like, okay, well, that color was kind of open. I could also be red-white still, right? Yeah, Urchin, exactly. Urchin also in red-white. A good pack, though. Like, Sourbread Auntie, really nice card. Project your response. All these uncommons, pretty solid. Grub's Command. That's a nice one. I think we're a little too far away from it, though. I'd be splashing it, and it's not the best splash. Probs just take Liminal Hold. There's Meander's Guide. I think this card is pretty bad to medium. Just a few too many hoops to jump through. And you also, there's some tension with it where if you want to reanimate something, that there's something to reanimate in the grave. It usually means the game's gone on a few turns, but this doesn't have a great attack. If the game has gone on, you have to turn 4, 5, 6 or whatever. Also, this Embrace, good removal spell. Ooh, a black-white rare. I mean, it's hybrid, but I will take Abigail. Abigail's awesome. 2 mana, 1/1, first strike, flying, lifelink. When she enters, you put a ability counter of those abilities on something. Could be you or your opponents. And that thing loses all other abilities. Yeah. Okay, Taster of Wares is fine on its own. There's also Blight Rot. Like, sorry, as in, like, you don't have to be mega super duper goblins to play this card. It gets better, but... Where am I on removal? I am not doing great. I've got 3. I mean, it's fine. I don't think I need to take the removal spell here. I'm kind of interested in just taking the rare. We have 2 changelings currently. And I do think I'm probably in the market for changelings, right? With the Eulogist, the Kithkin. Here's a pretty good changeling. No, Urchin is an oof, unfortunately. Yeah, I'm in for Graveshifter here. A little bit of synergy with the Eulogist, too, like both ways. Both, like, it's an elf, and also I'm milling, so I'm filling the grave. I like Klacken Festival. Kind of nice with this card. Alright, there's Thoughtless Lieutenant. That's the green-white excellent 2-drop. What are the chances I pivot back to green-white? I think fairly low. Although this pack's just not giving me anything I care too much about, so we'll just take it. Wary Farmer's one I like too. I've been pretty impressed with this card. Don't love anything here. There is another Eulogist. I wouldn't hate that. I think these green cards and white cards are fairly medium, though. And the more of these you have, the better they get, I suppose, right? Ooh, Elm Wheels. Okay, that's a good sign. I think this card is solid, not amazing, but I'm happy to see it wheel. Non-zero chance I play Percher. I was just saying I don't like this card very much. But non-zero chance I play it here. I do care about Changeling quite a bit. So I need to lower the curve. I need a touch more removal. But other than that, I think this deck's looking pretty solid. Ooh, Festival of Wheels. That's nice. Okay. Another pretty good rare. Less good than our other rares, but still a good rare. 2/2 flash. When it enters, something gains persist, which means if it were to die, it comes back with a negative counter. If it didn't have a negative counter, and you can remove some counters with this card. Oh, yeah, our rare. Look, we have combo. Synergy between our rares. The backside can give persists also. So, like, we persist. We take up the counters. We do it all again. That's sweet. Oh my god. Ooh. This is actually an interesting pick. So, I love Reaping Willow. I think Reaping Willow is excellent. This card has really impressed me. We're black-white, but there's also Fable, Figure of Fable, which is just really, really strong, although we will not be able to activate it quite as easily as a green-white deck. I think I'm still supposed to take the Fable, like, easy enough. We're not that heavy black, so, yeah. Figure is just busto. And now with Second Lieutenant, there's an argument to say we go back to this. So how many Kithkins do we have? 5. This counts. Changelings. Yeah, I can see it. I mean, we're giving up base spiral. If we don't play black, we're not giving up much, right? We're giving up being able to flip this, which matters, but isn't, like, super important, I don't think. You know what? I'm just going to take the removal spell. I take it back. I know I'm going to want it. I know for sure at the end of this draft, if I don't pick up, like, 3 more removal spells, I'm going to be sad. And I think black, white, and green, white are pretty darn close right now. Wilds is tempting. Should I just take a Preacher, though? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cheap cards. Tis interesting. I think I'm good for a land there. I'm probably going to make playables. Okay, another response. I say another, as if we have one, but we had one in the last draft. Ashland Command, busted. It's very interesting that it made it all the way here. I mean, it's pack 3, you know, good cards get passed and all, but... Yeah, the drafts, like, one thing I can say for sure about this format, the drafts have been very interesting. I think that this is a great format just for, like, hey, what... how fun are the drafts? How interesting are they? If you want to contrast it with Bloomborough, I think that it's worlds different, right? This is not a set where you're like, I'm this creature type and I'm just going to do the thing. Some decks you will be like that. That's going to happen sometimes, but not... Nice pickup too here. It's not going to be draft in, draft out like it was for Bloomborough. Fairy Rogue. I'll take a cheap card. I don't think I'm going to want a Caesar. I mean, I don't hate that card or anything, but we've got a lot of 4s. Shimmer Creep. Shimmer Creep looks good here. We've got a few hybrids. Do I like it over another festival? I think so. Yeah, I think so. Thought with Imbuer. A Kithkin card. Probably not going to play it. Yeah, Caesar. I personally am not a Caesar guy. As in the drink. Tomato-based drinks. This wheel too, kind of funny. Kind of make it feel like I'm just drinking ketchup. You know? Yeah, Canadian moment. A Caesar, for those who don't know. Wait, is Caesar not an American thing at all? I know that, like, Clamato is a Canadian thing, which is a Caesar with clam juice. Yummy, yummy. It's basically a Bloody Mary, yeah. Okay, so... we didn't end up with as many changelings as I would have liked. So some of our synergies are a bit ham-fisted. I kind of want to see what the Kithkin deck looks like just quick. If you'll bear with me, chat. Because I think there's a legitimate chance I should be it instead of black-white. Might just not get there on playables, though. We'd have to play, like, this card, this card, this card. Yeah, don't like it. It makes our mana a little bit better, which is nice, but... got some cuts to make here. Oh, sorry, this Nomad can go. I have a cuts to make here. It could be this Wary Farmer. It's probably going to be this Wary Farmer, given our mana base kind of split down the middle as the draft went on. Hard to cast a 1 white 3-drop. Also true about the Kithkin, but the Kithkin's much more powerful and good on turn 5 or whatever. I was very impressed with the 3-1 indestructible despite all the tokens and the -1 counters. Lords were not. What do you think? Yeah, no, me too. I think this card's pretty good. Like, worse than the first time we saw it with Season Howlblade. Because, yeah, this set's a little more tokeny and yes, there are counters, but, like, there's not infinite counters to put on your opponent's creatures, right? There's actually, like, very few creature counters that can put counters on your opponent's creatures. So, yeah, I think it's a quality too, you know? Maybe not Busto. I haven't listened to their episode this week, so I don't know their exact thoughts on it. I'm going to listen tonight. Might be better to do this, even. Like 8-10 split. Makes the Kithkin a bit easier to cast on 2. Hey, Gar, how's it going? Makes the figure a bit better. Alright, let's do it. Appreciate the sub. Right, exactly. Season Hallowblade, which is a card from 2021, Course of 2021, for those who don't know. Basically the same as that black elf that discards to give indestructible, but is white. That was like, yeah, top 10 cards in the set. I don't think this card is going to be top 10 cards in the set, but there's a lot of room between top 10 cards and not a good card. So, I have some confidence. Opponent mulligans. We have a slightly slow hand, but we drew it too, so all things are forgiven. Thank you, deck. Too many 1/1 tokens and Blight for the elf. So again, like, Blight is on your stuff, right? There's very few Blight your opponent things. And also, yes, there are tokens, but it's not like every situation. I think people are overestimating this number of situations where you're actually going to have a token gumming up the ground. Like, when you play the 3-1 on 2, what's the percentage of times they're going to play a token maker? Like, I don't know, 10%? It's got a fail case, but that fail case is still fine. And the upside is a 2-drop that runs away with the game, right? I'm not saying I can guarantee I'm right about this just yet. That would be silly to say. But I don't think you should talk it down too much given... just because there's a few set factors that fight against what I might want to do. Just play this Urchin. To be clear, don't think it's terrible, but a good notch worse than Hallowblade. Yeah, no, I have to absolutely agree with that, yeah. Okay, I think we're just going to shifter back the Urchin. Opponent's mana screwed, it seems. Yeah, the 3/1 also just, like, blocks pretty darn well, right? There's removal spells that deal with it. Quite a few, actually. Like, Blossom Bind, all the cards in my hand right now. But it's just such a monster in combat. Just go Spiral into Urchin. You're right. That exactly, Adam. That's how I feel too. Like, it's a 2-drop. It's not supposed to win you the game, right? It's supposed to be good relative to the other things you could spend 2 mana on. Noggle. You got it. Okay, so... I think I'm just going to liminal hold this thing and bash for 5. No counter on the... Sorry, have to put a counter on something. My bad. I always forget that this isn't a May. Cash it in or just keep attacking. Let's cash in the Kithkin, I think. Alright, yeah, I messed this up, obviously. Could have played the land. Maybe I should have put it there, considering I actually couldn't cast that much off my deck. That was definitely right. I always forget, like, new cards and all. I made this mistake before. I thought this card was the end of your next turn. Okay, well, might as well get rid of this. Ooh, Shimmer Creep. Opponent is thinking. Okay. Play a 3/2. Tis fine, tis fine. A Haster Aware. So if this enters, they reveal X cards with X number of goblins I control. They discard 1 or exile 1. And if it's instant or sorcery, I get to cast that thing. Okay, I don't get to cast that thing. Ooh, Grub's Command. Okay, okay. It's a good one. It's indeed a good one. Oh, that's kind of sick. Reese? Yeah, okay. So let's bash. And boop. Another card, please. Give it to me. Chieftain. Okay. Bonus sheet card. Or, sorry, special guest. Dream Caesar. Let's just put him to 4. Is there any reason to take a counter off instead? I don't think so. It seems unnecessary. And they die. Alright, yeah. So, a little bit of fussing about with new cards that I got the text wrong on a little bit, but still was enough. Yeah, the new board's cool. I really like the... I don't know, just like a little bit of a treat. You don't expect it. And I think it's well done, too. Just like how they decided to... Like the exact specifics of like when it gets darker. I mean, obviously like when you lose life, but... I could see it being implemented in a slightly more annoying way, and they did it in a satisfying way, which is nice. There's a lot of white cards, and a lot of removal, and probably still a keep. Ah, definitely a keep. Alright, so 1 mana 1/1, pay 1 becomes a 2/3, pay 3 becomes a 4/5, pay 6... Kind of close to win the game. Not quite, but kind of close. I think I'm just gonna level up here and bash. Okay, yeah. We can buy that back on a future turn. Player Festival. When I first read this card, for whatever reason, I thought you had to pay 5 to sack it to get a token. I was like, alright, you know, you're gonna do that once in a while, but whatever. But it's just 5 make a token. Makes it a lot, well, a lot better, to put it plainly. I think I want to spend my mana here, just remove this farmer. Don't want them surveilling each turn. Sick. Okay. Yeah. Let's just jam the Baneslayer. Tax their removal as much as we can. Bridge command. Okay. +3/+3 and fight something. Cool. So I mean, there is a real decision to make here. What do we get back? The Fable or the Figure or the Big Flyer? For this to be a relevant card, I have to sink 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 11 mana into it. Which, like, isn't crazy, but I think overkill. I think if that survives, this thing will have done the same thing effectively, right? Yeah, take action. I'm gonna play my lands. Not much reason not to. Happy to block here. Oh, nice. Nope, no attacks, please. These Kithkin necks? Yeah, these Kithkins do have, I guess, a lack of neck. Well, actually, some of them do. Some of them have a little bit of neck in there. Okay, can lock that thing down. Do I want to flip this? Yes, I do. Lock this down. Get it for $1 billion. Either not enough neck or too much neck. Yeah, that is what's going on. They're just weird little guys. They really are just weird little guys. All right, pump the team. This card's good, by the way. This card I think is one of the only non-interchangeable Kithkin commons. Like, you know, the 2s are the 2s. They're kind of whatever. This card is the real deal, though. You definitely want a few copies in your 4-drop slot. Okay, so I can block, and it comes back with a negative counter on it. I mean, I don't mind killing the... Oh, sorry, it's got first strike. What am I saying? I could block here, though. I think that's kind of reasonable. Yeah, perhaps we're the one with the weird necks. Indeed, indeed. Okay, let's just bash, put the counter on... the Urchin? Just draw 2? If they want to block? I could also just put it on the token, and that's similar. I like putting it on the Urchin. Okay, hit some lands. Can also activate this festival still. Yeah, and this is what, like, I was talking down Kithkins a little bit during the draft. This is kind of the situation where I find Kithkins can get into pretty often. Like, if they're just curving out with their commons, they just don't... They're not able to push damage well enough. Aside from this thing. This thing's the real deal. But, like, you gotta have a curve of, like, rares and uncommons to consistently be able to be the one who says, just like, yeah, I'm being... You know, I'm putting pressure on you. Oh, no, no, no. No, no, no. Yeah, obviously, yes, I know. I've got a Mythic in play that's, like, giving them a very difficult time. I know. I'm just speaking to the other games I've played with and against Kithkin. Yeah, I mean, day one, if for nothing else, is for learning that the pacifism is instant speed to exile the thing in this set, not sorcery like it has been for quite a few sets. Okay, nice hand. Yeah, the Avatar one was on your turn. That's true. It's true. Not fully instant. Sorry, sorcery. It was kind of the in between. Okay, well, if they want to kill this, I guess to rease it. No killing it. Great. Let's Urchin? Got also Gnarls Barkley over here. Yeah, it seems a little better. May play a 3-3. Makes sense. Okay, so... why not Urchin then put counters in the Elm? Because there's a good chance that the card they play can just be killed by the Elm, and just activating Elm and getting in for 5 seems pretty good. I agree in the face of a 3-3 that a line would have been better. But yeah, I'll just go Urchin now. That makes sense. Elemental hold on the Urchin. All right. I'm pretty sure I'm just supposed to do this here. I'm doing too little for too long if I don't. Oh, do I want to do this? No, right? No. Okay, it's a interesting draw. You have a trick here, maybe? +2, +1. Okay, well, this is gonna work out for us, right? Because we Reese, it dies, it comes back. We get to activate. Alright, fine. that's also not that bad. Okay, let's just lock you down. Tasted opponent. Did I get a third counter from Persist? No, what happened was oh, sorry, yes, I got a third counter from Persist. I then removed 2. So it's awkwardly stuck with 1. I can, of course, remove it with Reese or Blight 1 onto this to remove it, to activate it again, but yeah. Yo, Wave of Shadow. Coming with that Prime. Appreciate ya. Changeling. Okay. So... they're going to target this. Again, I just get to get rid of it. Blight onto the Elm, and... should be lethal, yeah. Sweet. Okay, cool. Three-0. 3-0. Don Oppler coming with that Prime. Appreciate ya. Yeah, a lot of our games today have involved rares, right? Good rares from our side. And that might be a little bit frightening to a lot of folks. I think that's just something to adjust for in the draft. I think you just have to, like, draft flexibly, be able to draft in a way where you're picking up good rares, fight for the rares you take early. Fescue coming with that sub. Thanks so much. Appreciate ya. Alright. You got me. How would I compare the rare's power level to Avatar? It's a good question. I think slightly better. I'm gonna chill on this Reese, I think. Is that true? Okay, do you kind of want to race here? Yeah, I think I flash it in. Maybe against, like, red-black I hold it, but against blue-white, a lot of the removal just isn't going to kill it anyways. Or, sorry, kill stuff anyways. Combat matters, of course, but... Got him. Is there a heuristic for how many blight cards versus cards that want to be blighted? I don't have a clean one right now. No, sorry. I might have a better idea in a few days, but no, I don't have a clear... It really depends on the deck. Like, is something that I would say is my answer right now. There's probably some rough guidelines, but I don't have them for you. Sorry. Glad to sub, a 3-0 the 2-headed giant pre-release, and chalking up to falling asleep to the new set review podcast. Awesome. Appreciate it. Congrats. Is Gnarlback Elm good, or was that Reese making it look good that last game? I think it's pretty good. Like, I think it's going to be overrated because people are like, wow, creature that comes in and kills something. It's not exactly that, right? Like, it's awkward. The mana, the 3 mana to activate is awkward because there's no nice way to go, like, play it on 3. If you activate it on 4, you're burning a mana, because unless you have a 1-drop, right? -2/-2 is good, but not amazing. We'll just take this. So, it's quality, but it's not... I don't think it's going to be one of the better uncommons. Okay. Yeah. That's good. Well, speaking of this card, it does look good in the face of a duelist, so... I think we're just going to Shifter, get back Abigail? Yeah, I think your first few Blight cards are going to be fine. Like, there's the removal spell that blights to exile something. You're not going to end up in a spot where it's like, wow, I didn't pick up any fodder, my Blight cards are unplayable. That's just not going to happen. But, like, once you start getting to a certain threshold, yeah, you have to think about that kind of thing a little bit more. This card gets better if you can replenish the counters. Somewhat, yeah, but I also think I wouldn't oversell that because -2/-2 has diminishing returns, right? There's only so many cheap things that are going to exist on the board. I could block here. Like here. Kind of into it. Especially if they have a trick. I don't want this exchange to go poorly. Okay. Brutal. Okay. Why don't we block that last turn? I wasn't sure if I wanted to attack or block just yet. I'm not purely defensive. This is like a matchup where it could easily be a race. I could draw a card that helps me race. They could have not added to the board. Like, it's just unclear if I'm supposed to be defensive or offensive right now. And what I often do is I'll just pay a little bit of life effectively to be privy to that information, right? Like, it's better to just wait a turn. I don't mind taking a little bit of damage. Mind you, it does make the block a little bit worse with this card in particular, but like, if I just draw a removal spell, I'm very happy not to have blocked there, right? But it grows. Yeah, I understand. I'm factoring that into it. It grows, and I have to trade more. I think I probably said a good enough answer before you replied. Probably said that after you said what you said. Oh God. Okay. Yeah, it's gonna be a tough one. Gonna have to draw some of my Busto cards. It's not a bad one. We'll grab the last card. And if it's a spell, we're in a good spot. Okay, it's not... Still not in a terrible spot, though. Like, we're taking 4 a turn, effectively, because this can get in. Oh, it doesn't have Vigilance, though, so... Never mind. I mean, if I attack with this, I open up an attack back. It's still something I should do, but I'm going to be taking 5 or 6 per turn. No, 5, if I'm counting the lifelink here. Oh, yes, untap, so never mind. Doesn't actually matter. Okay. Why is Abigail at 2/2? Because it's a changeling. It's this clone, which I really liked, by the way. I really like this card. Omni Changeling. Usually clones are bad, but this set the clone seems nice. Well, adding Convoke to anything, like, really bumps up the power level of it. And this set does have a lot of good enter the battlefield effects, a lot of good static abilities. Like, it's a good set for a clone. But I think Convoke is the bigger thing here. Yikes. Yeah, their deck looks real nice. Okay, so yeah, definitely need to draw my big flyer here. We did it. How am I feeling about the power level of the rares at this point? Like, strong but manageable. I've been talking up how good I think the rares are, but they're the kind of rares that you can come prepared for. Like, they are mostly answerable with removal. The game will continue. Maybe they get a little bit of advantage, but it's not the kind of rare where it's like, wow, they play with Ugin from TDM or Jeskai Revelation. We're talking about different kinds of cards, right? I think as long as you've got enough removal, you'll be okay. It's not going to ruin the format or anything, but you do need to make sure you have enough removal. Can't really get in, so we'll just chill. Oh, I guess I could get in with this thing, right? Because it persists. Abigail, too. I mean, she'll die, but she'll turn the Taster into a Flying Lifelinker. They've got First Drake. Yeah. Oh, sure. Yeah. With so it makes this not a good attack. I still could consider attacking with this, though. I like it. No, I won't die on the crackback here, right? Like, I mean, I'm assuming this is surviving. If it doesn't, I'm dead anyways. But I won't be dying on the crackback. Even if I attack with this, I don't think I would have, right? Maybe I would have. In any case, I like this attack. Ooh, nice draw. Nice draw. I guess not an amazing draw. I can attack with this thing, and they probably don't block. Then we're just trading lifelink blows with them having more power. I could kill the mentor, and then maybe that's what starts swinging the race for me. Also, if they do double block, it's excellent for me. So maybe it's worth doing this one turn, actually. Before they have a chance to draw an answer of some kind. Okay, they just take it. I think I should probably be killing the Silver Gill Mentor. Oh, never mind. Doesn't matter. This is... There are still a few rares that are just like, oh, yeah, that's silly. Kin Binding is busto. But yeah, a lot of the rares are answerable. Okay, kill this thing. We take Bajillion. Yeah, their deck looks busted good. I mean, our deck's pretty good too. Can't complain. Okay, I mean... I still don't think we'll be able to race this. We're gaining 6 here. We can't race it yet, but there is a chance we'll be able to. I think I'm supposed to activate this right now. Put it on this thing. Oh, sure, it could Blight Abigail. Yeah, that's a good call. Yeah, maybe I should have done that. Turn Eulogist into a Baneslayer. Yeah. That's actually probably a lot better. It's a lot of damage. Oh, yeah, that's right. No. That's not how Persist works. That is true. If it has a counter, it won't come back. Yeah, we unfortunately cannot afford to double block the Lord. So we have to chump here. Good one. But drain back up to 3. Yeah, pretty sure there's not a draw in my deck that does it here. Hell yeah. Okay, GG. Figure would have been nice. Probably would be a little too slow here. Even if I could level it up entirely, it'd be too slow. Okay. At this point, do Merfolk or Kithkin feel more aggressive? Definitely Kithkin. Kithkin needs to be aggressive. It cannot win long games. Cannot is hyperbole, but it doesn't want to play a long game. Merfolk's much more okay playing a long game. Just accruing a good board, pumping their team with their Lord effects, drawing some cards. What do you think players will be undervaluing in the early days as far as archetypes to lean towards or capitalize on? Hard to say definitively, but I do think that the off-brand decks are not going to be drafted as much as they should be. Not that the off-brand decks, I'm talking like Black-Whites, something in the Mardu space, Vivid stuff, should be, is kind of tricky because they're there is less support for those decks than the normal creature type decks, right? But yeah, we'll just liminal hold this thing. But something I've been saying today is you should let your rares guide you in this format. Like, you should try to play your rares, be flexible to opening good rares. And sometimes that means you're black-white, right? That's kind of why we're black-white. we have good cards in black and white. This is not a set where you need to be super deep into creature types for them to matter. Like, my green-white decks, they're going to be Kithkin most often. But my blue-white decks, I think, actually, that one's interesting. Because, yes, they can't have a Merfolk theme, but our last deck had, like, it was like a pocket of synergy of Merfolk stuff, right? It had, like, 3 cards they cared about Merfolk. The rest was just good cards. Yeah, I think kind of ooh, interesting. I think a decent rule of thumb for this format is just going to be like, maybe rule of thumb's not the best way to put it, but a thing to think about. Don't autopilot your draft. Don't just be like, oh, I'm starting with a Merfolk card, I should be Merfolk. There's so many things to care about in this set. So many small synergies that you're going to want to piece together. So many 2-card interactions. Are we getting Catharsis here? Catharsis is it? No, that one's fine. No reach, right? Yeah. Like, I think a skill for drafting this set is going to be knowing when you should go deep on your creature type and when you should just have it be a package, right? You don't want to take bad cards to enable your good cards, yada, 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 all that stuff, you know? Also, I agree with the thought that removal will probably be underrated. And that is saying something because removal is often taken highly, right? Like, you need a lot of removal in this set. Lots of good utility creatures, lots of good rares. Oh, interesting. Okay, they still die, but this card's good. Alright, I'm gonna be back in just 2 seconds, chat. I'm just gonna get some water. You can take a look at the deck. Actually, let me give you a good example. I don't have the cards in front of me or the deck. I wish I did, but the deck I drafted last night in paper was a Kithkin deck. I had a few Kithkin payoffs. I had this card. I had a good green rare, or at least a solid one. I started with it. The Convoke 4/2 that makes your things indestructible and hexproof. Most of my draft, though, I was very heavy whites. And going into pack 3, I was like, very heavy white with this Lieutenant, the 4/2 flash rare Convoke card that I was talking about, and like maybe one other good green card. I opened up the Champion Merfolk rare, the card that has you be beholden in exile, and I had some changelings. I had some Merfolk in there, and I passed on it for like a fine white card. I don't remember what it was, but it was like a solid white card. I think I should have taken it there. Because rares are good. Like, I know it sounds simple, but I think I made a mistake thinking like I really cared about Kithkin when if I had, if I was drafting online, I could actually just see all my cards looking at them. I would have gone, oh, you know what? I've got some Kithkins, but I actually have some changelings and a good amount of merfolk. I should at least speculate on this merfolk. I then got past Sig, the blue-white merfolk rare flip card, and some other really good merfolk rare. The blue-white, the Lord. It was the blue-white. I mean, that one's not amazing, but it's solid. The rare card. So basically, like, you really want to remain flexible. Both in... You want to be able to get past good cards later on. That's just the core tenet of draft, but it matters more when the rares are good. And also, like, flexible to be able to play your early picks, right? Like, draft in a way where, okay, maybe you first pick a busted green card. Green's not that open. You draft flexibly, which means get into a color that's very open so you can make playables to be able to play that green rare still, right? I know this is a lot, probably a little bit overloading for people just learning the set, but for folks who, know what the cards I'm talking about, hopefully you can get something out of what I'm saying. Anyways, yeah, I don't know if I said this explicitly, but I do believe at the end of the draft, if I just made that pivot, speculated on the Merfolk rare, I would have had a better deck than the Kithkin deck I drafted. And the Kithkin deck I drafted was fine. It was solid. But it would have been better. Okay, we've got Taster, we've got this guy, the 2-1s. Yeah, just play the 3-1, I think. This isn't getting too much better in this hand. Also a nice thing to be able to Reese. Although, would I like to just liminal hold this thing? Yeah, get rid of the trigger. I believe I do. I believe I do. Wouldn't do that if I didn't have another removal spell in hand, but I do, so it's fine. Oh, that's problematic. That is problematic. Okay, we send... So Bree's pretty sweet. Bree is 4 mana, 4/4. Pay 2, give something flying, and lifelink till end of turn. And if you gain life this turn, you exile non-land cards to the top, cast a spell, mana value equals the number of life you gain this turn. Good little combo there. Okay, we drew the white source, so we get to just Solitude and get rid of it for good. Let's attack with the Taster first, though. Oh, this is also nice. This works just fine. What's this? Oh, we got him. We got them. The last card. Sick. There's Drick, too. Sure. A spell I can cast. Alright. That was a good turn for us. All right. Yeah, I think that was a good example of, like, removal is important. I would have easily lost that game if I couldn't remove Bree. And again, like, I know this is not a revolutionary concept. Removal is good and limited, but sometimes it's less good, right? I'm just pointing out here that it is more important than usual. Yeah, we keep Awkward hand, but we keep. Yes, that was the, if you weren't here for the full conversation, that's the idea. It's important because lots of must-answer rares, and also actually quite a few must-answer uncommons too. Or at very least, like, synergies you would like to disrupt. Ah, nice. I was very smart and let on my planes. And very bad at deck building, because it missed. Not the best Eclipse Kithkin deck, but good enough. Yeah, speaking of must-answers, exactly. Alright. They might not attack here. I can see it. Oh, they're just in it. They're in for it. They're just doing it. Alright, good for them. Alright, miss on the Eulogist too. Yep, hit me for 6. Yeah, I would love to not play this and play around a removal spell. Like, you know, kind of get their first removal spell. I don't think I can afford to here, though. I have to just land it, hope it sticks. Playing Shimmer Creep just not good enough, I don't think. We will jump here. Alright, lots of removal in the deck. One time. We miss. Okay, game's not over. Game's not over. Oh wait, maybe it is. Maybe it is actually over. This becomes a 7, a 9. I have to... No, Shimmer Creep only drains for 1. Yeah, this has been not the best... I gotta play Eulogist, right? Not the best showing of the packages of creatures. Like, we have some awkwardness in this deck. Not a lot of elves. The Vivid's not super well supported here. Thing is, though, if they just level up and we draw like a white 2-drop, we win. Okay, they just didn't level up, so I mean, that's good. They don't have the land. They now have the land. Okay, now we die. Sorry, not yet, not yet. We go to 1. Almost good, almost good. Drain for 3, but they just say pro everything and we die. Okay, GG's, GG's. First time we've drawn our Iron Shield Elf. Okay, we keep this. Ooh, blue-red. Blue-red's kind of scary. I'm a fan of blue-red. I've heard some people talk down elementals, and couldn't be me, is all I'm saying. Grab Fable. Also... digging closer to a swamp. Although I guess we have the Wayfinder, so we have the swamp. Be nice to double spell, though. Draw the swamp naturally. Okay, we did not. Let's get in. So 3/2 reach. Whenever they cast a spell, mana value 4 or greater, dings me for 2. All right, how to do this? So they know about this figure. I think I'm just gonna go Abigail plus Elf. That seems pretty good. I think I'd prefer Abigail gets countered if they're holding up like the mythic counter or the common one. Maybe that's not true. Maybe Abigail is the one I care about more here. It's kind of close. Okay, just draw a spell. It's fine. Stratosaur. Okay, that one I do not mind at all. Alright, so we hold. We bash. Yeah, I'm just gonna pitch a land here. That's why this card's good. 0 mana combat trick. What if they blocked Abigail? Then I protect your response, right? Oh, maybe I didn't have the mana. Sorry. Yeah. If they block Abigail, they block Abigail. I'm pushing a lot of damage on that turn. So I could go for Collective Response. If they've got the protection spell, the blue one, which is 2 mana, it's kind of a blowout. Though, I am pushing a decent amount of damage, so maybe it doesn't matter that much. Kind of seems like they have something, too. I think they would cast a removal spell before my turn, so I kind of am putting them on that card, the protection spell. They're going to block figure. I'm going to response. They're going to protect. And then I guess it's still kind of fine. Like, it's just too much damage to give up. Okay, worked out. I can pump my figure for an additional immediate point, or I can play my urchin. I'm pushing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 as it stands. It's kind of close. I think it's better just to play the urchin, though. Okay, yep. Definitely better if that's what they have. Yeah, that's a fair point. If I just pumped, I'd have a land to discard to the elf. Don't think I care too much about that, though. If they kill the elf, I'm still attacking them for quite a bit. Yeah, there's a mythic red sweeper. It needs a creature on the battlefield. Tweeze. Okay, so I'm going to sack this to blight onto my Kithkin so they don't get to loot off their Tweeze. Also get to draw a card. Oh, a lot of cards. None castable, unfortunately, but... Wow, yeah, I didn't even consider that. Abigail plus Urchin. That's a sick little combo. Abigail puts 3 counters on. Ooh, okay, okay. That's good, that's good. Yeah, 2-to-1 thing. One to another. They do have to chump and I'm drawing 2 here, so... Still in a good spot. Yeah, that draw 4 was almost really good. Okay, they're dead. There's nothing they can do to counter this at 2 mana. There is no quench variant in this set. We finally get a brief reprieve from that effect being in every set. Cool. So we are, what, 4? 6 wins. Oh, wow. We won more than I thought we did. 6-2. Looks nice. Trophy incoming? I mean, we can only hope, right? I don't call things before they happen, but I wouldn't complain if we trophied. What's dying here? Oh, nothing. They're just casting a Puka's Eye. Have I had a chance to play Mirror Form? Is that the mythic 6-mana card? No, I have not. Seems sweet, though. Okay. Yeah. Good player, too, I know, by the way. Oystein. Looks like maybe they got a little bit mana screwed, or just didn't have the answers. Or just wanted to get as many games and drafts they possibly can on day 1. That's very valid. Oh, hey, how's it going? Hey, how's it going? Yeah, close game. I had two pretty good rares. What was your deck like? Anyways, so yeah, I really like that we drafted this deck because it fits into my current theory about the format, which is to say, well, the creature types matter, and I know I've been saying this all draft, so bear with me if you're sick of me saying this, but while the creature types matter, and we had some creature type mattering things in here, I think the most successful decks are just going to be from not locking in, staying open, getting past good rares. You know, I know it sounds like, I feel like rares are good sounds so obvious, but it's such a big point. Porn? No, not that. It's such a big point for this format. You have 3x Shimmer Creep deck. Nice. Yeah, I love Shimmer Creep. But yeah, good curve. Lots of removal. That's what you want.